Hello, Stuff Blades. Thanks for joining me again. It's the next part of the build along. For those new to my channel, just dropping in for the first time, I'm basically a UK YouTube knife maker. I'm going to share what I'm doing, techniques and tips as I go, try and share the knowledge. So at the moment, the next stage I got is I'm putting a logo on my blade blanks. For those initial parts, I've had a pre-cut, pre-hardened blade, and I've ground the shape out. I've taken it to a reasonably high hand finish on the sides here, just prior to using an electrochemical pad here to do a DC current and an AC current. The first time you use it, you use a diode, and what that does is it does a DC, and it just eats into the steel. That gives you the depth, and then I take the diode off and reapply it, and then it discolors it, it makes it black. That's an AC, so it's pulsing backwards and forwards, and it gives the deep cut some contrast definition by making it darker. So that's the theory of it. Now going back historically, I did have a go at making the stencil, as it were, being that I used to make circuit boards based on an image that went on a pre-sensitized board, so I was aware of making stencils, artwork, plates for printing, things like that. But over the years I've been using quite an expensive stencil from a place called Etch. It's quite an expensive way of doing it. So these little things in here, I'll be paying something like £70 for that, but you'll be able to use it over and over and over again. There's Austin Etch Mark's the name of the company. That's all well and good, and then all of a sudden its performance just drops off the end. It just completely goes, and then you're like, oh, okay, I've got to order another one. And I find it such a faff. It's a really old worldy way of doing it. You got to send them a request, a billing invoice, and it's just a faff, and it's really expensive. But lately there's a couple of places that offer one-time use vinyl, sort of decal cut, stick on stencils. So obviously reached out to this company here, JP Designs, hopefully it's in focus, fixed focusing, and he said I'll send you out a sample pack. Now what with the coronavirus thing going on at the moment, I don't want to mention it too much because YouTube will kill all of the reach, but what with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, and post mismatch everywhere you go, just kept getting lost in the post, and he kept sending them. So I gotta give full credit, kudos to JP. He stuck with it and he kept sending them until he finally arrived. Not his fault at all, it's just the way things are at the moment. So I'm going to give these a trial, whether I move forward with them or not, you know, we'll see. But fair play to the guy who's, you know, got these cut out. I've got to read the instructions. There's a peel off, there's a stick on, and anything. Now in the old days I used to do vinyl on sort of a Roland cutter. You'd feed the vinyl in, the blade would be spinning on a stylus and get it all cut out. You get the sheet out afterwards, and it would read, and you'd have to be weeding it out with tweezers, and then you use a transfer film. You pick it off, you put it on the application, and then you peel the film off, so it sticks better to the back end than it does to the transfer film. There's a sort of adhesion factor of 10 on here but only 6 on there, so it goes like that, and it takes that off easily, you know. But when you stick it on the blade, it sticks to the blade more, if that makes sense, and then you can peel that off. But all the weeding out was a right faff, so it's done for me, which is cool. So let's have a go with this. I'll just read the instructions, double clean it all, double read on it all, and get back to you on the next set. See you in a bit. Okay, so off with the diode. So AC, DC, AC, AC. Now it should darken it up a bit. Different amount of time. Yep. Okay, so hopefully only discoloration under the handle, which will clean up nice. That hopefully is etched and discolored. Looks okay, somewhat faint, but this is L-Max, so it's not the easiest to discolor. L-Max goes, I don't want to stain, it's stainless, but we'll figure something out. Anyway, I'm going to go wash it off under the sink and see what it looks like. Wow! Hopefully that's in focus there. That is pin sharp. That is really defined. It's really sharp. The only thing is the edge of the decal, even with all the tape I was putting on it, it's still cut through, but because that is so far from there, hand finishing will get the, there's a little black line there as the edge of the decal. The electrolyte obviously got through and over, so a bit like this borderline here is a touch there, but that is far enough away from here not to affect it in any way. But that is really cool. So that was a good insight into one of the stages, which is putting the logo on. These things are quite expensive. The Etch-O-Matics are probably 100 quid. There's more expensive ones, sort of rack units with variable voltages, push button AC/DCs. This one just makes use of a simple diode. Other people can use battery chargers, cotton wool, sort of felt contact points and that, but I've used this one and I'm getting a result that good using JP. So I'm going to find his little pouch he sent, little pack. Here it is. JP Designs, and his email jpdesigns14@mail.com. Hopefully that should be in focus. I'll get back to him. I say in terms of success, that's 1 for 1. That bloody sharp, that is. So I shall crack on and do the other one. Thanks for joining me. Should be another couple of videos at the end. Also, I hope you've noticed that there's no ad breaks in here. I'm looking to let your viewer experience just flow right through the video. So any feedback, any comments, any likes, greatly appreciated, because I don't think YouTube likes sending out videos that have got less ads on, if that makes sense. So any support, greatly appreciated, through Patreon, where I'll get them early access as well. Thanks again. Scott Wessex Blades 8.